The Vibe at Vibe is sponsored video content brought to you by MedCity News.
Hi there, I'm Katie Adams with MedCity News, and I'm here with BJ Shaknowski, CEO of Simpler, a healthcare operations company. Hi, thanks for being here.
Thanks, Katie. Delighted joining us today.
So, as healthcare providers continue to adopt more and more tech, I think the issue of application management can become really complex. I'd love for you to speak about that issue and talk about why it's so important for providers to simplify and unify their many, many systems.
Yeah, sure. There are really 3 or 4 main reasons. This whole concept of vendor consolidation or application rationalization, it didn't come about, for no good reason. As healthcare systems have gotten bigger and bigger, and as they've standardized how they actually practice and provide care, what they've realized is they had to actually go from a lot of different processes, workflows, standard operating procedures, think every facility, every department having their own way of doing things, to a common way of doing things to really maximize the productivity of the labor they have. Well, in doing so, you pull back and you realize some of these systems are dealing with as many as 2,000 or 3,000 point product applications. So what does that create for these systems? It creates unbelievable financial hardship. You're not getting price leverage when you're dealing with that many different vendors and partners. You've got all sorts of data security and privacy risks. That's a lot of endpoints to manage. And then what you also have is the complexity, the cost, and the human time of managing all these disparate systems that don't necessarily talk to each other. And where that shows up criminally is for a nurse leader. A nurse leader could have to log into 12, 15 different systems to run his or her shift. He or she may spend 2 or more hours in front of a computer screen doing work that has nothing to do with providing care, but you still have to do these things to run a healthcare system. That's criminal, right? Particularly when you've got a 30% nursing shortage in the country. And so our belief, and it seems to be healthcare's belief, is that by consolidating on a few platform providers that can really solve multiple problems for you, you can reduce cost, reduce complexity, you can certainly reduce your information security risk profile, but more importantly, what you can really do is give time back to your caregivers to actually provide more patient care, more care in the health system.
Yeah, so much of the tech I've seen here at Vive, the main goal comes back to what you just described, elevating our clinicians, making sure they don't waste time or on these menial tasks they didn't go to school for.
That's right.
So that they can practice at the top of their license.
No nurse got into nursing so they could sit in front of a computer screen and do data entry every day. They want to provide care, and we think we can help them do that.
Exactly. Well, I want to talk a bit about Simpler's acquisitions. Now I know that your company has acquired several other companies and pieces of tech over the past few years. So I want to know, as you're acquiring these companies, these tools, how can you integrate all of those acquisitions into a cohesive, seamless experience?
Yeah, it starts with a level of intentionality. So when we stepped back a few years ago, we realized that we had an opportunity, really through inorganic growth or acquisitions, to put the right pieces and parts together and create a new category, which was this healthcare operations. So you can call it non-clinical, you can call it administrative operations. Nurses and doctors would call it all the crap they don't want to do. They have to do it, but it gets in the way of them providing care. And so what we've done is we've tried to acquire market leaders in each of the key areas. So it could be provider data management or credentialing, it could be nurse or physician scheduling, it could be contract, supply chain, spend management, vendor access, compliance, quality, and safety. We believe that these are the areas that have created real administrative burdens on healthcare systems, and if we pick the right pieces and parts, that we could actually begin to solve this problem by creating a category and then, of course, a category leader. But then comes really the exciting and the hard work of putting them together. And what we've had is a multi-year integration strategy. It's actually why we're rolling out the Simpler Operations platform today for the first time. We've been after this. We've spent tens of millions of dollars. We've spent thousands of man and woman hours putting this together. But what we've actually done is we've created the holy grail of consolidation, which is interoperability. We've partnered with AWS for their cloud infrastructure. We've built out our own API gateways. We've built out our common data lake, our interoperability workflows between our applications. And what we're now able to do is put the pieces and parts that we intentionally bought together, common data, common workflows, to create new value for systems so that they can be more productive. And so we'll continue to stitch them together, leverage that data that we can, that no one else can, and create more value, more efficiency, more productivity for the systems.
Excellent. I want to talk a little bit more about that operations platform. I know that you're partnering with AWS, and AWS is going to deploy some of its generative AI capabilities. And at a conference like this, it's no secret that healthcare AI is here to stay and adoption's on the rise. But the trust and concerns around risks and ethics, still remain a concern for many. So can you talk about why you're confident that these AI tools and your new operations platform can improve operations, without increasing risk?
Yeah, it really comes from, frankly, position of experience. We've been an AI company for almost 15 years. Right? And generative AI or large language models, right, with their advancement in the last 18 months have certainly created exciting potential. But if you don't understand the data exposure you have, the data rights that you have, if you don't understand the various inputs or outputs or the technology infrastructure behind some of this very exciting generative AI that your system may be using, you're actually creating extraordinary exposure and extraordinary risk. Simpler has gotten, and we're very humbled to receive a lot of credit from the technology community. We've been working really hard on our AI approach, but we've intentionally been going slow to go fast. And so instead of dropping a bot in a website and saying, everyone go and access all these different data sources now and let's see what it returns, and my goodness gracious, what could that do? We've taken very intentional approaches, we've partnered with AWS, and we've actually baked some large language models into a couple of our core applications today. So instead of AI for AI's sake and everyone going fast, we've done the real work and made the investment. What we're doing is taking workflows that used to take hours, and now they can actually deliver insights in seconds or maybe minutes. And so we're creating productivity enhancements in the core application they use today to the benefit of that user without exposing them to the risks that you can have with some of these, I'll say, undermanaged AI technology potential.